everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, Terrace House Podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Daily Wilhelm,
Konbanwa,
Jack Cepeda,
Ciao, baby, ciao.
and Colin Sparling.
Listen, man, you can't be playing on the man just because he's Italian. Italiano, ciao. Mwah.
I mean, he did say it.
Jack, just because you have a mustache doesn't mean you can act like you speak Italian.
Mwah, mwah, buca de beppo, the buca de beppo, the beppo.
Look, guys, I mean, I don't know why we can't focus on Ciao. Ciao is just the thing the tweens say. It's not really an Italian language thing.
Pepperoni,
like
peppercini.
It's super fun.
It's like dabbing.
Pancetta.
Yeah, I see all those kids out there dabbing and like rotating around in a helicopter and yelling
just go,
"Ciao,
Ciao,
ciao,"
ciao.
as they dab.
Yes.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Hey.
Oh man, this week we are talking about probably one of my favorite episodes personally of Terrace House that I've seen in a while. We're talking about episode 15. A man's worth is determined by his job.
I seriously thought you were going to say that we were talking about cheese this week. I got really excited for a second.
Me too,
You know,
by the way.
Colin, you're right. We're just going to completely sidetrack. Let's talk about cheese for the next hour. No one wants
We
to
were
talk
talking about
cocktail?
charcuterie not that long ago, so I guess
Well,
goes
this
hand in hand.
podcast can be pretty
Spell
cheesy
it.
because of Robert's jokes.
Hey.
Got him.
Got him.
Wow.
Hard.
Let's get
Burn.
into this episode, though. Guys, I just want to talk about this episode because
Yeah.
I want to basically get to the halfway point of it because after that, it's all like really good.
Okay.
Well, let's
So-
get there.
So we open up this episode with the panel. I'm a little bit sad here because the tall basketball boy is gone. The basket boy.
Bring my
Basket
tall
boy.
basket boy.
He's just weaving baskets like while sitting on the couch there.
Dude,
Wait,
I felt like he probably could barely get up off of that couch. His knees were like sitting up so high. He probably
Yeah.
had to like, somebody needs to help me up. I can't get up.
Like they just locked in place after sitting there for so long.
Somebody had to like pull him upward.
They had to lower a basketball hoop down so he could grab it and then raise it back up.
And
Yeah,
then that's
like a
how-
parade.
was
Is
his
that a
exit.
reverse
Y'all
dunk?
remember that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's a reverse dunk.
It's a
I
slam
miss him
dunk
too.
to stand.
I miss Rui too. He was cool.
Yeah.
He was really
Yeah,
cool.
I miss his in-depth analyses on things because now we have Shohei again, who I think actually doesn't say anything in this entire episode.
I was literally about to ask you guys if Shohei was back because I don't remember because he didn't say anything.
Wait,
Wow.
was he back?
Guys,
Is
my
God.
Shohei
Shohei.
there?
who's
I
Shohei?
don't remember.
Come on, Colin.
No,
He's
but even though we don't have Rui, we of course have people. We have the panelists recapping the last week's episode. They're talking about there's a lot of Haruka in the last episode, now I think about it. But she talked to Ruka pretty harshly. She turned down Yusuke, and then of course we have Kenny and Risako finally leaving. Finally, after 14 episodes, it was nice to know them, but we're moving forward now. And they joke about how the new guy might have like a really big forehead.
Oh, I
Because
like
they
thought
didn't
it
show
was
the
funny.
top half of his head.
Yeah, just kept panning the camera up.
His head
I
was
don't-
going to be the size of like the Slim Jim guy from the 90s commercials.
No, I was going to say, yeah, in the 90s, the MTV had that series, The Head, wasn't it? That guy with the giant head with the alien that lived in it. Anyways, that's
Yeah.
what I thought about.
All right. I learned
That's the
something
90s.
new today.
Go aheads.
But then we get into the episode proper, and we are in Harajuku at what I think is Soichi Gallery. I think is the name of how you would say it, not So One. But there you have Ruka, Shohei, Haruka, and they're at a line for boba tea. I mean, they're at an art exhibition
Yikes.
to go see Kaori's whole art exhibit, which was like pretty cool. And like there were a lot of people there, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It
that
was
was
a
a
good turnout.
line. I was like, "Dude, what is this line for?" And they're like, "Oh, we're seeing Kaori's art exhibit."
And then we're
So-
getting Boba after.
Well,
So
yeah.
is that a direct, is that Terrace House fame? Is that what a lot of that line was, you think?
It's got to be the bump at play here.
Whether it's, oh, I know Kaori, she's on Terrace House, or, oh, I'm going to go there because I could be on TV. Like, I could be the extra in the back.
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Like, hey, mom, look, I'm
Ah.
on Terrace House.
First controversial statement of the week.
Ooh.
Okay, so I hope I don't have to turn in my Kaori Defense Force card here, but
Oh,
The drawings
Turn in your
seem
badge and
nice.
gun.
They seem like sketches. I was surprised, I'll say, just to see that they were marker colored in. Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with marker?
Nothing's
Marker's
wrong
an
with
art
it.
form.
Nothing's wrong with it. I was just saying I'm surprised. It was a long ass line. That's all. The end. Okay.
Nope,
can I have
you've
my
been
card
voted
back,
off
please?
the island, Jack.
Yeah.
You've been
Turn
excommunicated.
your badge and gun.
It was an honor knowing you on the service. We're gonna have to ask you to turn in your badge.
Yeah. I want your papers on my desk and you out of here by 3 p.m.
They seem like very awesome doodles. Like, that's really cool shit.
Just calling them doodles.
Her style is doodle style, isn't it? No? I don't know. By the way, I don't know shit about art, so I am speaking from a point of ignorance. I admit that. I'm just subjectively saying.
I guess I see where you're coming from with that. But I think that's like the style that's very popular right now is like a very like, I guess, relatable more style than like very detailed photorealistic sketches or like a very exaggerated art style. I think people want, you know, those like, this is a person and this is a dog in a bag. I loved her attention to dogs. She definitely pays attention to dogs.
Yeah,
I mean, she
I do
has a
like
dog.
that.
She has Aden. So she knows what it's like to be with a dog, right?
Who takes care of the dog when she's...
Why can't Alan be on Terrace House? That's the real
Yeah,
question.
bring him on there.
I mean, he kind of was on another Terrace House.
We talked about him.
Is it his parents? Does his parents take care of Alan when she's away?
Does
I don't know,
Alan have parents?
I don't know.
Mr. and Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
No, my favorite thing about this scene is when Ruka, Shohei, and Haruka swung by Kaori to say hi. I think it's the first time I felt like, wow, Shohei's impression is kind of spot on, because she was basically like, hi, 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 arigato. And I was like, oh my god, Shohei nailed it.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe I just saw what I wanted to see. But then we come back home now into the Terrace House, and we're on the first floor, and Ruka and Haruka are down there. And y'all, I feel like every week we're almost a broken record in making fun of Ruka and, you know, chiding him and wishing he would grow up. But this boy understands a typhoon as being rain, but the windy one.
He didn't understand until Haruka explained it to him. What's a typhoon?
Yeah.
Like,
You live in like one of the most typhoon-prone countries on the planet.
He doesn't go outside, I guess. Right?
I guess,
Explanation.
like I'm starting to be like legitimately concerned about like his impressions of things, like that he was just like, wait, is it when it rains? And it's like, y'all just had like, or wait, what time in the future is this? But didn't they have like just a very severe typhoon? And it's like, that's everything, what everyone was talking about was the typhoon. And somehow Ruka's like, is that the one where it rains?
Oh, gosh.
It's rain, but windy.
Ruka.
What?
So,
it can be two things at once?
I never put two and two together, but is Haruka like the feminine version of his name? Do they kind of have similar names?
I don't know enough Japanese to answer that
Yeah,
one, my
like,
friend.
you know, like Jesse and Jessica kind of thing? I don't know.
I'm going to defer to Daly on this one.
It
Seems
really comes down to kanji, because you can spell the names in very different ways and they'll have very different meanings. Like, I know that in Haruka you have haru, which is flower, but you don't necessarily have to have that for it to be pronounced the same way. And I don't know the kanji for Ruka's name. So
Interesting. Yeah.
who knows?
But
Took me this long to even think about how similar they sounded.
still, I think it shouldn't take you 20 years of your Earth life to know what a typhoon is. Like, even if hypothetically Ruka lived in a basement his whole life until now, like, has he watched TV? Or like a movie?
Yeah. I'm sick of asking
The
questions about
news.
him. I can't.
He watches
figure
Marvel
him out.
movies. Maybe that's all he watches.
Yeah.
There's had to have been a typhoon in one of those motherfuckers, right? I mean,
I mean,
Like-
maybe. I don't know. I haven't
The
seen all the
worst
Marvel
part
movies.
is just like his genuinely baffled face. He's like, what? Like his eyebrows are furrowed. He like, like I feel like I see that look on him more and more, and maybe it's just because I'm looking for it now. But it's like this boy is just going through life not knowing what's happening around him.
it's not even the only dumb thing he says this episode. I'm going to try and be patient and wait for the right time to say it, but he said something else really stupid.
Same.
We'll get
So
there.
choice.
I feel like if someone in Terrace House were to get murdered,
Yikes.
Ruka wouldn't know the person was even dead until like 2 weeks later.
Oh, dark.
We had to go there, huh?
I know it's really dark. But what I'm saying is, like, if this is a horror movie,
he'd be the first to go.
One. Yeah.
Yeah. Or either that, or he'd be the first to go. Yeah.
Or he'd be the killer genius.
Oh, this is all an act.
Too. Yeah. Like in Scream. Kind of like that.
But let's talk about the good things in this scene. Kaori finally comes home, and there's this cute little like jokey moment between her and Haruka. Haruka's like, "Oh, why are you all dressed up?" They all know, right? But she was really happy with her art reception. She thought it was really good, and she felt like she accomplished a long-term, long-standing goal, which is fantastic. I mean, that's just part of the great reason we watch Terrace House in a way, is to watch people achieve their goals. I just found it really funny that this was juxtaposed with Ruka sitting right there, and it felt like an entire scene that was like, hey, Ruka, this is what it looks like to care about a dream and accomplish it.
Wow.
Dude, get on your shit.
Somebody might as well take an old phone book and just hit him upside the head at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, so tired.
No, I mean, I'm happy for Kaori, and she's talked about how her dream is to work with someone from Hermes, the Paris fashion company.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, I looked up some of their clothes. Are y'all familiar with Hermes?
No, I was actually about to say I wasn't.
A little bit,
it was like $1 million purses or some shit like that.
Yeah, like leather shorts for women, $5,000.
Yeah.
They do these like scarves that are like tapestries. They're like actual silk, and like people buy them for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then like either hang them or like tie it to a purse. I guess that's a thing that you do. I'm not into that personally, but that would be really cool for her to be like her illustrations to be featured on like a silk scarf that's worth like $500,000 or something.
Oh yeah,
seems to be a natural trajectory for her.
Wasn't her exhibit at a Tiffany & Co? Like a Tiffany & Company?
I can see that in the background.
Yeah, but I don't think it was like a Tiffany & Co. It wasn't like a store. It was just a gallery. A Soichi gallery, right?
I remember seeing the Tiffany & Co. like logo. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I think it was on like oh man, I'm gonna hate myself for this. You know those wide black boxes with red LEDs on it? I can't remember the name of it, but
is there
it spells
a word
out letters.
for them?
I don't know, but people put letters
digital
on there.
billboard?
Yes.
Question mark?
We know what you're talking about, and honestly, I don't know what it's called either. It's just an LED screen thing, some sort. I don't know.
LED billboard. We're gonna go with that.
All right.
Yeah, it was on there, the Tiffany & Co. thing, I think. But for the next scene here, we jump over to Shinjuku now. We are in front of Japan Entertainment Agency, all in English, and we're with Shohei and Haruka. And Ruka comes in a little bit later, but essentially Haruka spills the beans like, oh wait, I thought this was an acting class, but it's actually a stage combat class, so we're gonna fight now.
Beautiful.
Dude, I saw when I saw Ruka show up and Haruka told him that, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be good.
You think so? Yeah, I mean, this is right up his alley if he wants to be Spider-Man. That's what everyone's thinking here. Like, he's gonna shine here. He's gonna be really good.
I thought something would awaken where he's like, oh, this is how you actually do it. This is what doing something with your life is like.
Mm-hmm.
This would be his metaphorical radioactive spider.
If I took away anything from this scene, it's that Haruka's got some acting chops. Like, she was really natural with it. Her and her partner, when they were acting out that fight scene, they came out with something really nice on the fly, like, ad-libbed it, I'm assuming. And it was pretty funny. And I don't know, it's cool to just see them exercise and kind of get out of the house. The main takeaway here was that Ruka kind of did what we thought he would do, or, we hoped against it, but he kind of failed, right? He was like cracking up. He couldn't take it seriously. He was supposed to be in a fight, but he's just laughing the whole time. So he gets chided a little bit by the instructor. And it's just like, and he was laughing his ass off when Haruka was acting too. And it just shows, it's just indicative of inexperience, right?
Yeah, definitely. I thought when Haruka was up there doing her thing, like, her facial expressions were really convincing.
Yeah.
Like, she was kind of scary.
That's how you act. And what's funny about this, okay, so on to the second dumb shit that Ruka said in this episode, when him and Shohei are later on in the bedroom and they're discussing it, Ruka said, I wrote it down because it's such a good quote.
Oh, man.
He said, when talking about Haruka's acting, he said, she's a completely different person when she's acting.
Who would have thought?
It's almost like that's what you do when you act?
Yeah, Ruka, that's how that works. That's how that works.
So this begs the question, does he think when he eventually becomes Spider-Man, he won't have to pretend to be a different person. He will just be Spider-Man.
I'm just sick of thinking about what's going on in this guy's head. It's just like
man.
So what's going to happen? I have a really kind of it's kind of a dark future scenario, I guess, in a sense.
Hey, you're 2 for 2 now. So
yeah, you've been really dark this week. Are you?
I don't know what it is, man.
Okay?
I'm just gonna blame it on the weather, Seattle. Sure. Well, what if Ruka becomes one of those like celebrities, right? Like where he gets kind of like rolled into the modeling thing because he's a pretty boy. You know, let's be honest.
Sure,
he's a good looking dude, and so he makes a good money from modeling. And he ends up becoming one of those people where he's like, I'm going to just get plastic surgery to become Spider-Man.
Huh. So are you imagining like a full body tattoo?
I don't know what it looks like.
I am now.
Oh God, I hope not. That was even worse than I was thinking. Maybe. I don't know. What if he gets? I was picturing him getting like surgery to look more like Tom Holland or something crazy like that.
Oh. No, I totally know what you're saying though, because there are people that get that. There's like that guy that wants to be a Ken doll, and instead of like working out in order to get that same physique, he just gets implants to make it look like he's the same kind of muscular as the Ken doll. So maybe Ruka's gonna be like, I don't have to work out. I can just get implants.
I can get spider webs implanted into my veins and shoot them out like Tobey Maguire.
Crazy place,
dude. I'm just saying he's starting to come off to as a person like that. I like him, but damn.
Yeah.
I'm being really dark, I know, but
I just want to see Ruka now from like, you remember that scene in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, you know, fly, go web, go, shoot, that whole thing where he's trying to figure out
up and away web. I'm waiting for that moment.
I just want Ruka. I just want a shot of Ruka like on the rooftop of the Terrace House, just doing that silently to himself.
I mean, back to the show too. When he's talking about Shohei here, he also like said something that's really puzzling to me. He said that because Shohei brought up that, hey, Haruka's kind of being rough on you. She's kind of lecturing you and stuff. And he goes, well, Ruka says this to Shohei. He says, I thought I explained it clearly that I have big dreams, but she just thought I had just immature wants. I'm like, dude, unless we missed something in the edit, you did not explain it clearly that you have big dreams at all.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a huge dream. It's very big because it's impossible.
Like I wrote down that quote actually because I feel like there was a lot to take in there. So he said, you know, I thought I was stating clearly that I had big dreams, but from her point of view, it sounds like a child's fantastical dream. Yeah. Like it was as if I was saying I want to be Superman when I grow up. And so is there a distinct difference in this case between being Superman when you grow up and Spider-Man?
I didn't say something fucking stupid like Superman, okay? I said Spider-Man. Get off my shit, Haruka.
Who wants to be fucking Superman?
We're not talking about fucking
like
Superman can fly.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah,
that's
like
impossible.
Obviously Spider-Man is much more attainable because he's not super strong.
Fuck Superman. I'm talking about fucking Spider-Man, okay? Big fucking dreams, Haruka.
I thought,
okay?
I thought maybe like he would like show like that he wants to be like a vigilante or something in the acting class but then like the guy was like, hey, give me your money. It was supposed to be like two punks fighting in the street. He was just giggling the entire time.
Teasing the whole time.
It's like, is that what you would do? Like if you were Spider-Man? Like you just hear him giggling like as he swung by.
To be fair to that question, I actually can't imagine anything else. If he actually were to become Spider-Man and realize his dream, he'd be smiling and laughing more than anyone in human history. Wouldn't he? Just be like, I'm doing it. Fuck everybody, I told you.
Yeah, but it'll be hidden under his mask.
Yeah. This fucking guy.
I don't know. I just wanted to sum up that I think Ruka for me is almost starting to veer into crazy territory with this whole thing.
Yep.
It's definitely delusional, as we brought up last week.
Yeah,
I think it's just like we said before. If he what does being Spider-Man even look like for him? We don't know yet.
Yeah, and like I also said last week, I can't wait to see the new people, the Shin members, how they react to Ruka's exploits.
Ooh, yes, we'll get there soon. But another part of this scene in the boys' room is Shohei. He starts reflecting on his career because pretty much ever since he's been in the house, you know, the girls have been giving him shit for wanting to do all sorts of things instead of focusing on one career, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he comes to this conclusion that it's a little worrisome because it's a little almost like incel-y, where it's like all women want the same thing, a man with a job. And it's like, well,
I was like at first I was like, is he going somewhere here? Like, I think he's veering in the right direction. Never mind.
And when it went to the panelists, like you and Tori-chan basically shut him down right away. But I mean, it is something that I think about too, like a conflict in like his core, like thoughts on this whole matter, where he says that he starts a sentence when he explains himself. He's like, well, if I ever start a family, and it's like, dude, if you don't have like any sort of stability, it's going to be hard to even get to that point. You know what I mean? Because he always says, well, I don't want a real career. I just want, if I ever have a family, ... I just want to make enough money so they don't have to worry. And it's like,
but what does that
the
look
chicken
like?
or the hen, or the chicken or the hen, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're going to have some sort of stability to have a family, you would think.
Yeah. Because if you're single, it's easy enough to, kind of scrape by, right? With what the minimum amount of money you need to live. But once you add even just one person, like, a significant other to that, right? Like, even if you do joint accounts, like, you can't just get by for just yourself.
Yeah. And then also, like, he's kind of like, also from last week, he's kind of brushing off, Kaori, right? And she's successful. She could be a sugar mama if that's what he's looking. He's not looking for that, but I mean, it's kind of interesting that that's not going anywhere as of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Shohei says here is just like, I kind of feel bad that that's what Shohei is telling Ruka, because Ruka is in a very fragile state.
Yeah, impressionable phase right now in his life.
Exactly, and I feel like that's kind of giving Ruka the wrong idea, and I feel like reading his facial expressions, you kind of see it on Ruka. I think he's puzzled by it too, right? And I think that Shohei just reads Haruka wrong, right? Haruka's advice, because she's just trying to get to the bottom of what Ruka's trying to do, and she's trying to guide him. But Shohei and like Shohei took that as like, they just want us to have careers or whatever. It's like he took it personally, It's like he's. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder if like Shohei knows the extent of Ruka's like dream. Like, is he still on the page where he thinks that it's acting, because he's like, oh, we went to like the acting class together? Because I'm wondering, is everyone on the same page where it's just like he just wants to be Spider-Man, or is Haruka the only one with that insight, because that conversation of like, I just want to have the CG web slingers?
Yeah, because has Ruka really talked about it like that with Shohei yet? I don't think. I mean, not on screen. I don't think.
Yeah,
right?
not on screen, but it's hard to know.
Yeah. Well, let's move forward with the episode. Yeah. So before we hit the panelists here, I don't want to skip over the scene where we're in Harajuku Hut Natural Grill and Bar, where we get to see our boy, friend of the show, Yusuke.
Friend of the
show.
And
Yusuke.
then
Avian Ku.
Fucking awesome, dude. Haven't seen her in a long time. And and they're in Japan, right? You said.
Yeah, Harajuku. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it was actually really cool to see her kind of welcomed back into the fold, right? It was a very short scene, criminally short. But
criminally
so.
She had good advice for him.
Yeah. And I mean, Avian's just one of my favorite people from Aloha State, so it's just nice to see her again. And I don't know, their interaction reminded me a little bit of Aloha State in that, when you watch that season, you get a lot of English, more than usual, right? And that's how their conversation started, like, oh, hey, what's up, right? But essentially here, Yusuke kind of says, Haruka turned me down. She's not romantically interested in me. And Avian says, maybe you moved a little too fast. And I think this is where that tease from Yusuke to our show paid off. And that he says here that sometimes people just see him as a nice guy and that's it.
I mean, that's a question I'll ask you guys. Do you think that he moved too fast? Because Haruka opened that door wide fucking open. All he did was say, hey, I'd like you. I'd like to go on a date with you. Obviously, it didn't work out. But if she said yes, we'd all be calling him a genius right now. But she happened to say no at this time. So I'm just curious what everyone's opinion is around the table. Like, do we think he moved too fast? Given this situation.
I recall when we recorded the episode, I think I said something like, because it was like the third date, right? It was like a third, maybe even fourth date. Was it the fourth date or third date?
Third date.
third date. And so, I don't know. I thought it was like okay timing to be like, hey, I'm interested in you in a romantic sense. He's not like he's saying, be my girlfriend, right? But he's just saying that, hey, if it's cool with you, I would like to take you on this outing to see fireworks, and I want it to be a date. You know, I thought it was a pretty cordial way to put it myself, but maybe they just thought it was moving too fast. Maybe is that a cultural thing? Is that like maybe there was just not enough context there? That's just not how the relationship is. I don't know. It could be a lot of things, but I thought it was fine.
I agree with what I believe the panel later said, where it's like Haruka just set him up for failure by on that one date where like he paid and she's like, oh, you're so manly and you're so this and I like people like this and you're just like that. Yeah. And I want to take a nap with people like that. And it's like, of course he's going to read into that and be like, clearly she's into me. And I think that it wasn't, wrong of him to read into that in that way, that there might have been a spark between them. So I don't think he necessarily moved too fast on this. I think that she just, I don't think it was malicious, but like she put down some big vibes that she should be more responsible with.
My only thought is that he reciprocated the romantic vibes. He just simply reciprocated, based on what she said last time. So I don't know if that's too fast or not. Yeah. What do you think, Robert?
See, my thought, I don't think moving fast is a relevant, like the speed at which he moved is not at all what matters here, because it's just a simple fact of she's not interested in romantically, and like that's it. I think because like if you put yourself in her shoes, like, oh, I'm hanging out with this guy one-on-one who I'm definitely not romantically interested in, he's just like a good friend, I would feel comfortable saying stuff to him like, oh, I like a guy like you, I like a guy who's nice like you, It's not the most responsible thing to say to someone, especially someone who's still looking for love, but when you see them as a friend, it's so easy to just say those things and not read into them. Whereas as someone who's looking for something, you can hear that and be like, oh, is it me? She's talking about me, right?
I don't know, man. I think people that do that should expect to get asked out. I don't think that it should be so, as much of a surprise. I mean,
I think people who say that stuff maybe have a little bit of a self-esteem issue where they want people to like them, but they don't necessarily want to like them back.
Sure.
But I don't necessarily think that's a green light, 100% she's into me kind of a thing,
She was laying on pretty thick, man.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm saying here is I think that this is just a pure case of like, if she didn't like him then, 3 dates later, she's not going to like him afterward either, Like at that point, she would know whether she would be interested or not, and it's definitely a not. So like,
yeah.
I feel like though a lot of us have made the consensus that she kind of let him on. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Haruka's not faultless here at all. I go with Babazono on this whole thing, basically.
Yeah. What did she say? Remind me.
Basically what we said.
Yeah, she said basically that Haruka's been toying with Yusuke. Yeah, I think the word was toying, right? Like toying with his heart, because now she wants the new guy to toy with her heart, right? And like that'll be fun if that happens. But either way, after the panelists, we finally get to hear our first, well, it's not our first ping pong, but it's our first Shinmemba ping pong in the house, where we have Ruka, Shohei, and Kaori sitting around on the first floor, and they're talking about mundane shit, like, all we have to make tonight are ground beef tacos, which Ruka hears as grilled beef tacos. Again, just Ruka's fucking in his own world, man.
He's simple, man. He's a simple boy.
He's a simple man.
La 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 la. That's Ruka's head all the time.
In his head.
Yeah.
Either that or like the Spider-Man theme song from the old animated series. But yeah, then we get the ping pong, and it's Emika Mizukoshi, 21-year-old university student.
Hey.
Wow, this falls flat.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say here. She just kind of walks in the house and is like, I'm here. And it's like, okay.
This whole scene, when she walks in, it's so weird. It's just overall weird vibe. It's like no one was really mentally prepared for a new member to show up. Everyone was like very just caught off guard. Didn't know what to do. It's awkward.
There is a plot twist here, though, guys. There's a plot twist. And I loved it because it's like, Kaori and I are on the same wavelength, because she was like, oh, are you signed with like an agency? Because it's like everyone's a model.
Right.
Everyone does modeling.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm just a regular university student.
Yes.
It's like, oh wow, she's not a model or actress on the side.
Yeah.
It's like we've said it before. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like everyone is a model or actress or actor.
And
Damn,
it makes
good looking people.
Makes me want to barf in my mouth, honestly, like the ratio of models. We'll talk about it later. But all right, so yes, Colin, this part lands flat. I agree with you. It was kind of like kind of awkward, very similar to when everyone first joined the house. But she is, to Daly's point here, just a normal college student, and this is why I like Terrace House, honestly, because it brings in normal people literally off the street and just seeing how they react. They don't all have to be high profile, right? So sometimes, and I'm hoping that things happen. She already had some very funny moments here very shortly we'll talk about. And so, yeah, I was kind of cool with that. But yes, I agree. Like when she came in the house, it was like, okay, now what?
Yeah, it was just very deadpan. And I will say, though, to the show's credit, so far the casting choices they've been making for the housemates, fantastic. Like these two new people that we got, awesome choices, I thought.
Same.
Robert, please.
So with Emika, we get to learn a little bit about her. Not only is she a university student, but right now she's on summer break. She's going to take a semester off soon to travel, which is such a I'm in college thing to say. And then the semester. Yeah, same. And then afterward, she's going to start job hunting. And something I wanted to point out, actually, is in the panel, they talk about how she's going to JF Oberlin University. And I did a little digging because I was like, isn't there an Oberlin University in Ohio? Which there is. And fun fact, the founder of the Japanese Oberlin University went to Oberlin University in Ohio and graduated from there.
Wow.
Which is why they started a university in Japan.
So the person graduated from Oberlin and started a branch in Japan? Is that what it is?
It's not necessarily a branch. They're not like
they just ripped off the name, it sounds like.
Yeah, they just named it after JF Oberlin.
Cool.
Oh, interesting.
But
okay.
I don't know. I thought it was cool. It was cool. It was
yeah, it is cool.
That's a little bit of Ohio in Japan.
Connection to the Midwest.
For sure.
So Ohio is #Real America.
Look, all I'm saying, man, is I've left Ohio for 2 years now, and it still finds a way to follow me, even in Japan now.
Yeah,
So,
you just embrace it, man.
I hear it's for lovers, is what I heard.
God, please. But yes, and then back to Emika. There's that one little moment where Shohei is like, You smell nice. I don't know how to say it. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, things not to say in the first 24 hours. Just save it. Just save it for later. That's all I'm saying.
If someone smells really nice, I'll say so. Is that
right
wrong?
away? Right away. I don't know if it's wrong, but it bears ridicule from third
I think
parties.
it was the context and the timing in which he said it.
Yeah, I'm just saying give it 24
And
hours
then
is all I'm saying.
It did get weird because then she was like, I didn't put on like perfume today. I actually had forgotten. It's like, you're just like, getting all natural. Like,
oh man.
He's just like, there's something about you that smells like he just hammers on. He doesn't stop. He's like, you smell good.
No,
fucking take the compliment. You smell good.
Yeah, she wasn't throwing him any lifelines here at all. She was saying about to try and like, I don't know, bro. I should not smell good, so whatever.
You smell better when you're awake.
No. That's 3 for 3, Colin. That's 3 strikes. You're off for the rest of the podcast.
Dude, I am on a fucking tear today, all right?
Colin, I am
we're back from break. I am just click all switches up, man.
All switches off,
concerned.
actually, because it's dark.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard.
There it is.
This is mad dark, guys. Okay.
I hate this.
Save us.
I also do want to point out here, Shohei is wearing a face mask that whole time, so he's smelling something through a face mask. That's just a lot of a mess.
When do her and Ruka go on the roof? Because I want to talk about that.
We will get there. Okay. So we learn here just a little bit about Emika, just because, whenever there's a new person, I feel like we get fast-tracked on a lot of details about them, right? She's been single for about 1.5 years now, but she does like being the pursuer. That's like usually her type is someone she chases after instead of someone who chases after her. And then there's a moment where she says she likes to date older people. And when she was a freshman in high school, she dated someone 7 years older than her.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a little more common in Japan.
That's pretty intense.
That's pretty pedo, dude.
Was it a 21-year-old dating a 14-year-old? That was that. Yes. My eyebrow raised at that too. I was like, that's the weird window of time.
A little bit.
There's a starter pack for that here in the U.S.
Gross. And then the guys really awkwardly ask her, hey, what's your birthday? Is that your sign? What's your blood type? I don't know. That was just like a really weird moment. It was.
I actually was giving Ruka the benefit of the doubt there. I thought that was a joke, and it was pretty funny. I thought he was just like piling on like funny questions. Is how I choose to read it, I guess.
That's how I choose. That's how I choose to place it in my head canon.
I have to believe that he was just joking there because it came across as funny.
Maybe that's what Emika's thinking. She's like, oh, he's like really funny, and then like by the time they get to the roof, she's like, no, he just dumb.
He was quiet. He would remember he was when they were cutting the onions and they were calling him out to Kaori and Shohei were like, hey, you're being quiet. You know, are you nervous right now? And you could see his neck turning red already. So red. It was very apparent. It's like, dude.
So then Ruka gives Emika a tour of the house. They go to the playroom and he's like, oh, this is where we play games and watch TV. And then they go up to the rooftop and Ruka introduces it as, it's fun to have drinks here at night. I don't drink at all, but it's fun to have drinks here at night.
He drinks some. He has drank before. And when they were in the playroom, I thought it was interesting. He said that this is where we used to watch Terrace House together. So I guess they did, and now they don't. And that's kind of sad.
I wonder what that's about.
Get too awkward.
Really busy, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really feel like, though, when we get to the roof, man, Ruka's just very self-defeating. He's like, I don't drink much. And then bug happens.
Bug.
Like just had to be a bug. I hate bugs.
He squirmed. He got up and ran to the corner. You know, and it's like, oh, I'm okay with butterflies with a moth.
Everyone gets a free pass if it's like a wasp or a bee, because there is immediate danger there. But it's like, oh, moth.
He full on Scooby-Doo into Shaggy's arms jumped.
It's like that reaction to a moth is only viable if you're wearing a wool sweater or some shit. Like, I just can't, like, what danger does a moth pose to anyone? Oh my god, it was very comedic. And then the look of disdain on Emmy's face as a reaction was just like, wow, dude. I just saw her virgin like alarm going off. Ding 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 ding.
Oh
ding,
man,
ding,
yeah,
ding.
Not a great first impression, Ruka.
Yeah, he's a cherry boy.
My immediate thought was that was the moment Emika realized Ruka was just a boy, not a man.
She was so disappointed. Yeah, and she's
not
like,
even a Spider-Man.
Well, you have to assume, right? Like, she is caught up to wherever the show is. Like, she knows the house. She's been watching the show. It comes across as pretty apparent to me. So she's got to know about him turning red. She called the playroom infamous, you know. So
right.
It's a weird thing too that makes Terrace House interesting.
Here's the thing I just thought of. Do spiders eat moths?
Yes.
Okay, so he wants us to be Spider-Man if we can't fight a moth. Is that about right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're reading.
Get the supervillain Mothman, and he's fucking over.
To be fair, I would be terrified. Even Superman's terrified of the Mothman. To be fair,
the Mothman Prophecies is legit one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. If you ever seen that movie, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm too scared of Mothman.
Oh, the Mothman. Anyways, man, can you fucking? Oh,
Ruka is just defeating himself at every turn, and it's so good. I love it.
I'm picturing Ruka in like a stereotypical therapy room where, like, you know, he's laying on a couch with a therapist. And he shows him a picture of like Carnage from Spider-Man and doesn't bat an eye. Then he's like, Mothman. He's
just sitting there, like his head cradled in his hands, and that fucking moth, man. That moth.
lights a cigarette, takes a drag. Yeah, fucking like, moth.
The moth.
I can name that moth. So Daly, you're kind of quiet here. I'm just curious, what's your takeaway on, like, how would you think you'd react in that situation? Just curious.
I think it's fine if people are afraid of certain bugs, but like I said, like you get a free pass if it's something with a stinger, you know, or a spider. Like that's generally a phobia that many people have. But like the fact that he went like he like drew in his arms and stuff versus just like being like, oh no, bug.
Yeah.
Just calmly move away.
Or anything, like, or if it's a mosquito, like usually just like clap and kill it, you know?
Dude, what if he was like, you should kill it. You should kill it.
What if he grabbed her out of her chair and put her between him and the moth?
Oh no. Like a real hero.
And he just starts going,
I like that he clarified. He's like, oh no, I'm fine with butterflies. I'm not afraid of no butterfly.
It's the moth.
I'm afraid of moths though.
It's the moth though. The moth is...
You know, the natural predator of the spider is the moth.
Yeah.
It's quite the opposite, actually, which is fucking funny.
Same.
Oh.
So, guys, can we talk about the show getting good now? Can we talk about the best boy instead of the worst boy?
Shin member.
We get another shot of a new boy walking toward the house,
Bing
and then we're on the
bong.
first floor. It's Shohei, Kaori, and Ruka hanging out, and then bing bong. And then over the speaker, you hear the most happy motherfucker. He's just like, "What's up, bro? I'm here to live in the house, man."
Hey! And then Kaori's like, what the fuck did you say? Like, she makes a really funny face.
Dude, I was like, when that happened, it was so loud. I thought somebody was going to go, like, it's like blasting through a speaker. Like,
Ciao, ciao.
I love the way subtitles have to try to account for like very casual language. And 90% of the time in my experience of watching like Japanese shows and being able to recognize like casual speech is that they just put comma bro at everything. Like he was just saying like, you know, the way you would talk to a friend. So they just put comma bro. He did not say bro. Or like
Kyodai.
Did anyone else get the vibe that when he walked in and we see like his full face, right, and his forehead is normal, he's got a cute forehead, he scans the room, and when he looks at Kaori, did anyone else hear dream, 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 dream? I just saw like slow motion,
just had like an auditory hallucination,
like hair flowing and slow. I don't know, man. He was. I thought he was kind of dreamy.
Like one of those slow-mo entrances you see in movies.
Yeah, where you exits the pool all slow, you know, like,
oh my God.
I got to say, he seemed dreamy.
I mean, he's damn good looking. I'll give you that, but I wasn't going that far.
I was not prepared for how attractive he is.
Yeah,
like, I gotta say that. Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I do have to say, so far, my only red flag, yellow flag with him is, okay, I should say his name first. We've got Giuseppe Durato. Call him Pepe. 26 years old. He's a mangaka. I like him a lot. I'm going to say that up front. He's probably my favorite boy so far this season. He's already up there in like Hansan Armand territory, and I've only known him for 20 minutes.
It's too soon.
But I really hated how he was like, oh yeah, I'm a mangaka. You know, I've got this series. I'm ready to
working on my first series. I'm really successful here.
Publish it through Big Comic Spirits, which is a pretty big deal, actually. Like that's legit, like really fucking cool. Also, I'm a model.
Just toss it on there at the end.
First one.
I groaned and rolled my eyes so hard when he said that. I was like, why? I mean, I see it. Okay.
I mean,
I see it, but I wanted to believe that we could keep Terrace House more pure than this. let's not taint the waters here.
No more models. No
more models.
But I mean, I guess to counteract the modelness, he has like one of the most unique jobs we've seen on Terrace House.
For sure. Mangaka, I don't think we've ever seen that.
I want to see, because the way I understand manga, especially like serialized in magazines, it's a fucking hard development hell. It's, you know, day in, day out. The only other thing that you're doing other than, you know, drawing manga is sleeping, if that. So I'm really interested in seeing like what is his actual schedule going to be like when he is serializing a manga and living at Terrace House.
The idea
he kind of alludes to it too. It's like, I mean, it's crunch time all the time, and he's like, yeah, I am busy, go like this is the first time I've actually had time to breathe for a while. I think he said something along those lines.
There's something interesting too about like what he brought up with his manga. Like it's a kind of about an outsider, right, or someone like a foreigner, and he wants to kind of bring the two cultures together, the Japanese and Italian, because it's his own, and he feels he's being unfairly stereotyped because he's Italian. And I think this is really interesting because he's like, didn't he say that like people assume in Japan at least that Italians just constantly are hitting on people and are just really suave and really kind of free with love, and in short, kinda. That's kind of how I feel about it a little bit. And he was kind of smooth, and he is kind of dreamy. And it's like, I mean, that's not the worst stereotype to have.
And what does Shohei do? Hey, can you make pasta?
Oh my God.
And pizza.
I like, he was like, his whole thing was like, I'm trying to like really, have Japanese people realize that, not all Italian people are, the same, and we're not, these stereotypes. Can you make pasta? I like pasta.
And also talking about breaking down stereotypes of gaijin, because now he's a gaijin, right? He's here, he's a foreigner. He comes in with his shoes on, and they think it's a big joke, and Yama thinks it's a conspiracy, and I don't think so at all. I just think that he just forgot because it's just not his way.
Yeah, see, so here's my take on him. In that when he first walked into the house, right? He joked about how, it's such a big house, I thought it was in Europe, right? I think it was more that his whole intention for being in Terrace House is to break the stereotypes, or at least set the record straight on what it means to be an Italian living in Japan, right?
And I think for him,
right, I think for him that was like that big, like that's the first moment he's going to be on camera, like that's this huge, like I feel like there was a lot of pressure on him to make the right, like I have to walk the right way, I have to look at the camera or not look at the camera the right way, I have to, smile the right way or not smile, you know what I mean? Like there's probably a lot going on in his head in that one first few seconds of him being quote unquote on Terrace House, So I think that's where his head is at. Yeah, and still, even then, no matter what, right? Like there's still some Italian stereotypes that'll go on with him, right? Just like the pasta thing. And look, I'm just saying, just because I have an Italian last name and literally made pasta last week, not all Italians know how to make pasta.
There's a lot of funny ass stereotypes out there, like all Asians know karate or some shit. Like that's fucking stupid.
Well, he basically tried to push away the stereotype of being a silver-tongued devil, more or less, in saying that I'm actually really shy. And sometimes it's hard for me to talk to women.
He is not. He's very smooth. And that came across very quickly to me.
Yeah.
He's very smooth. Rico Suave smooth.
I'm going to be curious for what he's like when he starts actually liking one of the girls. Because he claims he's shy around girls he likes. Right?
Yes.
But I think he's a very friendly person, which is why he can so easily, just get along with everyone in the house so far from the vibe that I'm feeling.
Yeah. What I appreciate from this is that he's counter-programmed against Kenny. Like everyone's like, oh, Kenny was boring. Let's spice it up a little bit, right? Because this guy, the energy of the house instantly pepped up. Oh, that's his name, Pepe. But he's like, he peps up the room. He peps up the energy. He brings it all to a more entertaining kind of tone. And so that's what I really appreciate about him here in this first impression.
He basically took paddles to the chest of the house and just like, bam, new life.
Clear.
Yeah.
What I'm really looking forward to, and I can already see it like starting to blossom, is I really liked at the beginning of part 1 where like we saw, Kenny and Shohei doing their thing and hanging out and getting drunk and making songs together. I foresee that more happening and maybe happening more on a regular basis with Pepe and Shohei, because like already like Pepe was like, he had like a hand on Shohei's shoulder, and I loved when they were like, oh, so I sleep in your bed with you, like to Shohei. Like I love, they already have like a rapport going on, and I really like it.
Oh, wasn't that interesting too? When they were picking out beds, that Ruka went down and took Kenny's old bed. He didn't want the top anywhere. They put Pepe on the top bunk. I thought that was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, but still,
it was
even
pretty funny.
Pepe turns that into something funny where he's like, oh, I snore, so you'll hear it in surround sound because I'm at the top. You know what I mean? He just takes everything negative and turns it into something positive.
He's funny. He's smooth, man. I'm saying he's smooth. He's poised in the pocket. We asked for this. I asked for this specifically. Give us a competent guy. Seems like here in the early phases we got one. We'll see.
He's no passive boy.
No, he does not seem passive at all.
No, I don't think he will be.
And even Emmy, when she gets first eyes on him, like she was smiling a little differently there, right?
Yeah.
She definitely had a different look on her face.
No, she was excited when he was like, oh, I'm a mangaka, right? Like she was like, oh, really? Right? She was excited to know. And I love
that moment.
Go ahead.
Oh, I love that moment because they were both standing like awkwardly, and Kaori's like, guys, you can sit down.
There are chairs.
You can sit down. It's fine.
Yeah. But I do want to point out, like, just how much, this isn't just some, random scrappy Italian guy who decided to move to Japan just because he likes to draw manga. Like, he's actually accomplished in that the magazine he's serialized through, Big Comic Spirits, right? That has previously had really big hits like Junji Ito, a very famous horror manga artist.
Mhm.
Like he published Uzumaki and Gyo through that. He's also published Inio Asano. His Oyasumi Punpun. I don't remember how you say that.
Oh yeah,
It's
you're
published
right.
through that same magazine as well. So there's some pedigree there. It's not just like, oh, he's a low indie, struggling mangaka artist. Like he's actually made a name for himself, or like they're taking a shot on him.
And I looked it up. He said he was currently interning with, oh no, what's her name? I totally Googled it. Her last name is Nishi, I think.
Nishi Keiko.
Keiko Nishi, yeah. But she was like the premier shoujo artist in the 90s. Like, you like think Sailor Moon, she was like right under that. Like, that was like, she's, slowed down because she's older now. But like, that's really cool that he's working with someone so prolific as well.
Yeah. To me, he's already shattering all kinds of stereotypes. It's just different ones than I think he intended. It's just, Japan is just such a kind of insular society when it comes to, they have a word for foreigners, gaijin, you know what I mean? It's just like interesting to see someone who, as far as I can tell, is 0% Japanese whatsoever, going in there and making it in a very Japanese industry, and not just doing it, but like excelling and about to have his first series. So it's cool for me to see that, because I've never seen that before. Again, I'm ignorant to the whole thing, self-professed, but it's cool to see someone do that that's not, naturally born 100% Japanese.
Yeah, it gives me confidence, guys. It gives me confidence. Give me a couple years, I'm going to brush up my Japanese, and I'll be on Terrace House.
Yep.
Hey, man.
Just watch me.
believe in you.
All
Just
the
watch
best.
me.
All the best for you. And this brings up, just I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it just brings up like, what is the importance of race in Terrace House? And again, I don't want to talk about that very in depth right now, but I'm sure we will in the future. But it's interesting because, as far as I can tell from all the episodes of Terrace House that I've watched, at least, I can't think of anyone that didn't have some Japanese in them. Percentage.
Lauren Tsai, right? She's Chinese and white.
Okay. So some, I don't know, but some Asian though. Like this guy's like 100% white.
He's European. He's Europa.
Yeah. So it's interesting to me. See how it works out.
Yeah, the way you guys were saying it on the other episode, white man.
He's white.
White man.
And I was right. He's white.
Yeah. But like Emeka even asked, it's like, oh, so you were born in Italy, but you were raised here. And he's like, nope, I've just been here for 4 years. It's like that. He speaks perfectly, fluently.
Awesome.
I do love too that even though you hear him, he is speaking Japanese, but you still hear an Italian accent in there, which I find really interesting.
It comes through a little bit, yeah.
That's kind of like, you don't hear that often, if ever, right? So I think that's really cool that he's bringing that here.
I, for one, hope he does cook some bomb-ass Italian dishes. What did he say when they asked him if he cooks pasta? I can't remember.
He was like, oh yeah, I cook.
Okay, I want to see some. I want to see some ravioli. I want to see some stroganoff. Let's go.
Same. I'm excited to see what he brings. And this is why I think I like Pepe so much, is that in these 15-20 minutes, he's already, in my eyes at least, made Terrace House seem like it has a brighter future ahead of it than it usually does.
Yeah.
Like I'm very excited for these future episodes. And I think the best way to kind of wrap up our analysis of this is to take a look at how the house tells Pepe about Ruka's broccoli pasta. Because if you think about it, there are 100 different ways for that to go. And most of them are like, look at this idiot who made broccoli carbonara by throwing eggs into the sink, basically, right? Like
broccoli.
Yeah.
What's the main ingredient? Broccoli.
Just broccoli and pasta and wispy little eggs.
Like Strokes Chin, interesting choice.
Yeah, it's so easy to make that a like, let's dunk on Ruka moment. But Pepe, to this kid he's only just met, turns it around to be like, you know, that's how carbonara started. People just took their leftovers in the fridge and threw it together, and now it's like a famous dish. So 100 years from now, we're going to have Ruka's special broccoli pasta. You know what I mean? Just like, effortless.
That was so sweet.
That was really nice.
It is very sweet.
I mean, that's like Hansan levels of like how to turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt very rustic European too. Like he just brings in like, oh, I know the story of how carbonara was started, because of course I did.
In the old country, in Tuscany, you see.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I'm excited for Pepe. I'm excited for Pepper.
Yeah.
That's what that means in Italian.
In Pepe.
Yeah, it's
pepper. Just Salt Bay on
Pepper
the show is
He's
essentially
Pepper
what's
Bay.
happening. We're getting some seasoning up in here.
Nice. Spice it up a little bit.
He's super refreshing, man, and he's made me really excited to just get to the next episode again this season. He's just really brought the show back up for me.
Yeah, and we're talking about him a lot. We're not really talking about Emmy too much. So,
We just don't know much about her yet.
Emmy. Yeah, you're right. She's, hopefully she has a chance to shine on the show too.
Yeah, we kind of bulldozed over it because, Pepe. But
Pepe.
I really liked what she said. She wants to work in an industry that supports career advancement of women. And for her, that might be like flight attendant.
Yeah, that's an interesting profession, right? It's something that you don't really hear often from people who say things like that on Terrace House.
I can see it. I can see the appeal. You get to travel. You get to see the world. You get to make people happy. You get to do something important. It's a skill. So
order in a place that can be very chaotic. I was flying a lot recently, and it's like, what if like just these people were left to like their own devices? People seating themselves, and there's no snacks, and it's like it would be chaos. Being on a plane for 4 hours, it would be chaos. Like they do very good work. Flight attendants do.
They are doing God's work, and you're triggering my anxiety now. Now you and Colin are taking me to a dark place.
I love how near the top of your list for things to take care of on the plane, it's snacks. Like, that's a vital part.
Hey,
I need my.
Listen, are we not even going to mention alcohol? God forbid you don't have alcohol on the flight. Fuck.
No, man, it's about those peanuts.
By the way, if you're on a flight and a flight attendant ever brings you any alcohol, you just don't say anything. You say thank you and you drink it. That's the rules. Just don't turn down alcohol on a plane.
What if I'm straight edge?
Then don't.
What if
That's a you.
What if I'm getting roofied?
By the flight attendants?
Not by the flight attendant. If
you're getting roofied on a plane, someone's going to notice.
Honestly, I can't sleep on a plane, so
You'd be surprised.
I welcome the roofie on an airplane because I can't get any sleep on an airplane. Like, I need help.
So let's revise the rule.
From Jack.
If a flight attendant offers you alcohol, be like, can you roofie it for me real quick, please?
That's true.
Actually
do you have any
roofie
Roofenol on you?
Guys, we're starting 2020 dark. This is the darkest episode we've done in a while. For us, even.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
I want to say, because I just remembered, like, Jack, you mentioned we haven't said much about Emmy. There's something I want to say about Emmy that maybe is a bit of a negative. I have a conspiracy theory. I doubt she does not have an agent. I think she has an agent.
You think she's lying?
Oh.
Yes. How are you going to get on a fucking TV show without an agent?
You just apply online.
You apply.
You can do it.
But you're still on TV. Like, come on. You have an agent or you're going to get one very soon.
Yeah, okay, so that was my caveat. I think she will get one soon, and she will probably model after Terrace House because now she has all this notoriety, so yes, it's soon coming. It's incoming. If you don't have an agent now, I agree with that.
Yeah. She gonna get scouted real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
She'll do a cover with a moth.
To start your first
image.
Ruka's bane.
Yes.
So I would just like to, while it's still in my mind, I'm going to coin it right now. If for whatever reason our boy Pepe, God forbid, turns heel, I'm coining the term Pepe Le Pew right now.
Wow, I'm so proud of you, Colin.
I don't think we're going to need it. I don't think
we're going to need it, but I'm claiming it.
That was a pretty brave logic leap there, Colin.
Colin, no bullshit. How long have you been holding on to that joke?
I know, all episodes.
only the past 48 hours.
Well, on that note,
just rehearsing.
Let's bring this episode to a close. If you have any questions, comments, theories about Pepe, because this is going to become a Pepe fan cast, just putting that out there.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
Let's hope.
We're on the fence, but we'll see. But if you have any questions, comments, theories.
People.
Same.
I don't know.
Pepe protection people. The PPP.
No. The OPP, other people's Pepe.
That's the one, I think.
There it is.
But yeah, you can email us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. Otherwise, you can reach out to us on all of our social media accounts and our Discord. You can check those out in the link below, in the description below, etc. You can catch us next Tuesday, where we're going to discuss episode 16 of Tokyo 2019-2020, Orange Flavor First Kiss.
Delicious.
I want to know who is going to be doing the kissing, and we'll find out next week.
The smooching.
Kissing.
Yeah.
Ciao, baby. Ciao.
Kissing.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Ciao.
Itakimasu.
If you enjoy our show, please like, comment, and subscribe, and ding that bell to receive notifications when we publish new content. Follow us on social media and check out our brand new Discord server, linked in the description below. See you there.